All right. Good morning out there. Let's get things moving to make sure we're rolling properly. Make sure we're okay. We're good. We're good. That says 6 paid items, and I had 5. Jeans, 22, Warhammer. Okay, just had to make sure of something. I didn't just sell something and wasn't worry about it. All right, let's go. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name is Ryan. I get stuff from yard sales, garage sales, thrift stores, and similar venues and try to flip them for a few bucks online. Mostly eBay, occasionally a few other sites. This morning, I live stream most Mondays and usually 1 or 2 days throughout the rest of the week, depending on what I find and or sell or get cranky about. That's pretty rare. Anyway, pretty good find weekend and some bread and butter sales. Nothing to really get super excited about other than some things just getting off the shelf, and that's always nice. So we'll jump into that. First off, prayers for you guys out in North Carolina, Tennessee, South Georgia. They're dealing with some mess. Asheville got nailed, and it's rough. So find an organization, throw some money at it, because there's folks out there that need some help, and a lot of stuff's they're going to need all of us to help chip in. So encourage y'all to give and see if there's a good organization you can give to. I know Samaritan's Purse is one. They're actually in North Carolina. There's various others. So go get them. Anyway, all right, jumping into it. This morning, this one, Divinity 2 is PC for PC. This went for $7. I've had it on the shelf for a while. I actually it was a yard sale find. I'll probably make $1 off of it now. I made this was in that big find with all the Heroes of Might and Magic stuff. So I have a few more games left over that are like $10, $8 to $10 games. I may wind up bringing them out to the flea market next time I go if I still have them. So this one's really wasn't really quite worth the flip, but worth trying. So that's that one. Next up is Warhammer Online paperback. $11. This is one of those series I pick up every time when it's $1 or less without even looking it up, really. I've had very good success flipping these sorts of series. All your Dungeons and Dragons type of series books, Forgotten Realms, that stuff, RPG related stuff. Grab them if you get them for $1 or less. Minimum, they're worth lining up. But there's also a big handful of titles that are worth individual sales, like this one, $11. Next up is what's that one? Okay, I'll just do this one. This is a double lot. I'm really thankful somebody grabbed this. Little House on the Prairie books and some sort of sequel series by a different author. These went for $22, $23 total together. These were 2 separate lots. Really happy somebody did that because it actually means I made more money on these because I can combine shipping and get them all out at the same time and not have to worry about it. Because I do. This is like the one time that free shipping really, really pays off. Is when somebody buys multiple items and you can throw them together and you don't have to worry about calculating or refunding shipping or any of that stuff. You put them together. They pay what they paid, and that's how you get it. And that's a real good way to get that done. It's rare, but when it works, it's great. So anyway, next up is this batch. If I can get my hands around it. Ugh. These are J. Vernon McGee Through the Bible commentary series. This is a series I do pretty well reselling. I haven't had these up. I had these up a little longer, I think, than normal, and it's one of those. The more you have, the better you sell. Or like I think I've got one that covers John chapter 1 through 10 and 11 through 21. You know, it. Maybe if I think there's another one or two on John that if I had all those together, it would have sold a little bit better. This went for $17 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books. So made a few bucks on this. So anyway, this is one of the authors I grab every time I see him for $1 or less, because I know I can usually do a pretty good job locking them up. So all right, and finally, I saw a pair of jeans. Where are the pair of jeans? These are Levi's. If you can get pretty much Levi's, men's Levi's 541. I don't sell a lot of clothes. I don't know enough about clothing to sell a lot of it. I do tend to grab Levi's jeans when I get them for $1 or less, particularly men's. And I got 3 pairs from this yard sale for like $1 a piece. I've sold all 3 within a year. So, but a couple of the pairs sold pretty quickly. And then this one is the one pair that's been sitting around a little bit. So these are 34, 36. They didn't fit me. I actually might have tried them if they kept them if they fit me. But apparently I'm a 36, 34, not 34, 36. So there is that. And those went for $20. So pretty good find there. Short-term foot. Okay. Now for the fun stuff. The finds from this weekend. I'll peek him. He'll sit right there. And we'll talk about him in a little bit. First off, a stack of books. Foxfire. Foxfire book. This is your, they props out to folks in Appalachia who are dealing with stuff. But that's where these came out of. They're really fun reads. With like a lot of survivalists actually like these. These are from the 70s. These go $10 to $40 a book depending on which number you got. I think I sold number 4, number 6 for like $30, $40 one time. I think I got both of these up for $30 together. They'll go between $20 and $30 for the 2 of them. And so I grab them every time I see them. Don't even need to look them up anymore. I've sold Foxfire books several times, and I've sold them pretty quickly. I expect these to sell within a month. So Foxfire books, $1 to $2 a piece or less. Get them every time. Next up, there's another pair of books that I have sold before. I sold one of hers, and these are Edna St. Vincent Malloy hardcovers. These are really good condition too, with the dust jackets. I've sold, I think, a book of poetry by her before. It sat a little bit, but not really long. It was enough for me to know that once I saw these two together, I needed to grab them and flip them. So I think these two, this is going to be another $20, $30 sale for these 2 books. So happy to grab those. And another auto grab, Baptist Hymnal. This is like the early 2000 one or something like that, I think. A little dinged up on the cover, but Baptist Hymnals every time. $2 or less, it's an automatic grab because I'll make money. Because this will sell relatively quickly and it won't take too long. So, which reminds me, I got a question I got to answer, I think, about another hymnal I have for sale when I get around to it. All right. More finds. Here at Goodwill. there may be, it must have been about 30 of these Nero Wolfe uh, novels, and it was enough that I figured I needed to grab all of them because it's one of those, the more you got, the better, the easier they are to sell. I threw them up on Facebook, or did I? I may try these on Facebook Marketplace first, give them a week or two on a couple of book groups I'm on, see if anybody wants them. They'll probably go for about 3 a piece, and go from there. Otherwise, I'll put them all up on Facebook and probably do okay on them. I think if I can get $2 to $3 a piece on eBay, I'll be good. Shoot for 3 a piece on the Facebook Marketplace groups, or whatever reasonable offer I can get. Okay. I keep teasing this guy. I'm going to talk about him. Next up, some more finds here. Went to a local yard sale and got, this is like a motorcyclist windbreaker that I grabbed. Didn't even look it up. It was $1. I think it was 50 cents. And this one's probably worth a little bit more. This is a Harley Davidson vest, branded motorcycle riding vest. So I figured it would do pretty well, particularly for $1. At minimum, I know I could flip them get a few more bucks for them at the flea market. But motorcyclist stuff, when you can get it cheap, is worth grabbing. I think I've sold a couple things before, nothing extravagant. It's a bill I need to pay. Okay. And same yard sale. I didn't look up the brand on this, but these sort of military-esque hats, if you get the right brands, this is RAPD, Wrapped Down Tactical Gear. Some of these do pretty decently. These tactical style stuff. So again, I could flip it for $3 at the flea market. At worst comes to worst, but stuff like this, some of this stuff can be $20-$30 if it's the right brand. So keep an eye out for this type of thing. It's got the Velcro front and Velcro like all around on the sides, and so this is a pretty good quality hat. So I'm interested to see how that one's going to turn out. All right. A few more books. So some fun books too. Complete Works of Josephus. He was a first century writer. He was probably the first person to write about Jesus after the New Testament, and wrote about the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD. I have sold several Josephus books. I think I got one on the shelf at the house, but I've also moved several, so whenever I see him, I grab it. This may not go for a bunch. There's a few other editions that do a lot better, but I knew enough to grab this one just in case. This may be nothing, that may be a lot more. Electronics Theory Handbook. This is a magazine with a lot of illustrations and stuff. So, a little Epson ad on the back. But this is really old electronics stuff that's out of print. Is a hit and miss deal. Sometimes sometimes worth grabbing, sometimes not. It was in a pile of stuff I grabbed for not a lot of money. So I threw it in. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Grab these. This next one is something I had been passing up for a long time, and I shouldn't have. And these are, because I saw them a lot at my local Goodwill, and I need to start grabbing them again. This Present Darkness and Piercing the Darkness by Frank Peretti. These books paired up are $20 to $30, maybe a little bit less. But they're consistent sellers on eBay, particularly when you have both of them. Sort of a Angels versus Demons thing. It's a little, not, I wouldn't say charismatic bent, but spiritual warfare type stuff. And if there's a thing such as Christian horror, that's kind of actually what this is. So, I love these, I think, when I was a teenager, actually. So, anyway, grab these when you see them, particularly if they're in really good shape. Particularly, and also if you can get both of them. Really good sellers there. All right. Next up, these are... I went to a churchyard sale the other day, on Saturday, and it was a Korean full gospel church. And they had a box full of books and stuff. And these are 3 Korean language. I think one or two of them is a Korean English Bibles. So alternative language Bibles tend to do okay on eBay. So I grabbed them, and we're going to take a shot on them and see how they line up. But this was a really fun find from there. And they're pretty clean copies too. I think one has a couple of highlights in it or something, but nothing really ecstatic about. What else is here? This is another one of those that tends to sell for me. The Lost Books of the Bible. There's just First and Second Clement in it. There's a few church father writings and that sort of stuff. But people will get curious about these sorts of things, and so some of these sell okay. Usually they're filled with stuff that are of authors that are of pseudo authors. The books in them were written 100, 200 years after the New Testament, so they're really not lost books of the Bible because they don't meet the criteria to go into the Bible, which is written by direct witnesses, or you knew a direct witness in the case of like Luke and Mark, that sort of thing. So anyway, but that stuff still sells occasionally. All right. Finally, in here, in this box full of stuff, Flash got a buddy. Got this full-size Batman figure to go with Flash right there. And so, thought that was a really neat find. Those are styled after the old Superpowers. The old Superpowers style of action figures, which is my favorite line of action figures of all time. And I was kind of chuffed a little to see a Batman for sale, and it was fun. So, nothing else in that bin to really write home about, because all that's others. I got a bunch of flea market attempt stuff off of Teammate, so we'll see how that shakes out. All right, finally, the one you've all been waiting for. Rob. This is Rob. I don't specifically remember what. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Robotic Operations Buddy. Actually, I had to go back and do a little bit of reading on this. This went with the original Nintendo Entertainment System. There were 2 games it went with. Gyromite and Stack'em? Something like that. He was kind of marketed with the original Nintendo. But he had 2 games. He didn't work well, and the games weren't very good. So it was a fun find at the thrift store the other day. Even he doesn't seem. The motors in him are really grindy. I put batteries in them, and something works in them, but it's really, really noisy. So this is one of the more rare finds from the original NES. Even in this condition, he's missing the battery cover, and doesn't necessarily. I'm not certain how well he works, but even in that condition, like, the floor on him is $50. I may be able to get 75 to 100 for him. So that's kind of the goal. Has a little bit of yellowing on the front, but he's going to go back there and be in the background till he sells, and that's going to be. But this is one of the most neat finds, probably of this year, that I've ever come across. I don't know that I ever really expected to find a Rob. I knew what he was at the moment I laid eyes on him, and so I was happy to find him. He wasn't going to last a day where he was, and the thrift store had him priced probably a little too low. But I bet the thrift store people didn't know what they had when they put him out. So, Rob, anything else? We'll find a home for you back here somewhere in a little bit. So that is everything for today. And we all got work to do because it's Monday. And this is when I stack up most of my other work from a real job. And so I've got to get on that too. So like, comment, subscribe. And you'll be able to see me when I pop up, whatever morning I pop up when I pop up. And I'll catch all y'all next time.